I have mentioned in the video about the Oedipal complex that my father lost his powers late in his life to my mother, but I have now observed that sort of thing with many couples. And whereas my dad was a tyrant when in his 30s and 40s, uh, but many men who have seen their fathers as being in control, totally in control of the finances and the decisions about whether to move, and also holding themselves in social gatherings as uh, large, powerful spirits. Some of them, as they uh, begin to lose some of their strength and maybe their health, start leaning on their wives. The very people that they have been over for several years, and frequently rather discourteously so, putting women down in front of friends and family, uh, criticizing thinking processes of their wives as not being as analytical and powerful as theirs. Then they have seen their fathers do that, and I think a lot of them have resolved they're not going to be the kind of tyrant their fathers were. This is a concept that's heavily developed in Jonathan Franzen's book, The Corrections. Well, they want to correct the way their fathers treated their mothers and be democratic and kind, but in the process, they overdo it and start turning everything over to the women. And of course, and then the women are at first liking having more control, but after a while, a lot of them start saying, well, wait a minute, I'm glad to have some control over finances, but I'm getting a little sick and tired of filling out every check to pay the utility bills every month, which was something my wife actually said to me at one point. And then I snapped to and started doing my share again. But they turn it over to the wife and turn it over to the wife. And as they get into their 70s and 80s, they start turning it over to their wife to remember things. Honey, what was the name of? Uh, uh, I'm remembering the joke about what was her name. Um, but they one of the things that's striking is when a husband starts trying to get his wife to make the selection of what he's going to eat at the restaurant. But it's just overwhelming and overpowering, the turning it over to the woman and the weakening of the man that comes with that. And I see it over and over with lawyers and others who have been very powerful people in their careers, and then at home they've turned most of the management of the household and so forth over their wives, and when they come home and that's all they're doing is the things that are happening at home, they end up with a woman controlling everything. Now, these I know are generalizations and they're not always true, and you could call them stereotypes and shoot me down for that, but believe me, I've seen it over and over. Honey, where did we go? And what is it we're going to do? And oh, what was that person's name? I'm doing some of that now at 80, almost 7, getting my wife to help me remember people's names. Uh, So it's just not all these other guys that are messing up. I do some of it myself, but it's so striking and it's so common. And I don't hear it talked about, but it's there. And of course, it's exacerbated by men like me who've married women younger than them. But that's not the only ones that are doing this. The masterful, powerful man turning it all over to their wife and then becoming weaker and